folks, we're back and we're ready to get some code written in the LiveView repository. Before we get too deep, let's go ahead and play with some of the concepts that we've already talked about. So let's edit this code base. And as usual, I don't know if you noticed, but I said we're going to start with part 8. Parts 1 through 7 are in the Tetris video repository. This is going to be in the Tetris UI repository. And you can find that at Groxio Learning. So let's go ahead and look at what we have so far. So there's not a lot of code in here yet. This is all the configuration code. I'm going to close those. Now I'm going to look at the router. And we want to go ahead and add a router, but rather than get, we're going to use a LiveView. You saw that one of the things that we did in Tetris UI web in router, we added this LiveView router. We added to that macro, which is going to allow us to do this. We're going to be able to set this Tetris, and we're going to point that at Tetris Live. So that's going to go in our Live Views directory, and we don't have one yet. We're going to create that in a second. Let's see if we're at least recognizing the route. Okay, so it says that Tetris Live is undefined, so we're on the right track. So this says that the Tetris Live is not available, and we're going to import those automatically if we have things set up correctly. So let's go ahead and create a new file, and we're going to put that in. No, we want a new directory, don't we? So let's get a new directory. A new folder, and that is going to be called Live. And then in here, we're going to say a new folder, and that's going to be Tetris Live. So I'm going to say new file, and I'm going to say Tetris. We're going to call that Tetris Live.ex. There you go. And so I have a macro that helps me with this. We're going to put this in Tetris UI web, and then that's going to be called Tetris Live. And so now this should exist. This still isn't going to compile correctly. We have to finish out this sigil, and we're going to say H1. We're going to say hello world. Okay, so what's happening is that once something comes in on our route, which is live Tetris, the first thing that it's going to go to is this mount. And we have this session, which is just key value pairs for things that we want to help establish this function. And then pretty much everything else is going to take some form of a socket. Well, a socket is a dictionary, and one of the things in the socket is a user-defined map. So this user-defined map is just a set of key-value pairs, so that we can put in there whatever we want to. In this case, the assign macro is going to allow us to put hello with the key of world, and then the next key in there. So here there's two keys. The keys are hello and next, and the values are world and key. So let's see if that works better for us. And it does. And one of the things that we can do is take advantage directly in our view. And this is a LiveView sigil. And what that means is that the LiveView sets of macros, this use Phoenix LiveView is going to take this sigil and do all the processing to everything in this string. And we're going to take advantage of some syntactic sugar so that anything that the user has put in assigns, we can access directly. So basically I have a, I'm just going to do some interpolation here, and I'm going to drop in there one of the keys, hello. So essentially this is the key, and this means go into assigns. This is equivalent to go into assigns basically to that. But so since I'm using this instance variable, I can also use another one here, and this should come up with a value of key. Let's make this prettier, make it make a little bit more sense. So let's call this name, and let's call it Joe. So we're going to say hello Joe. Hello world. So basically, okay, so what's breaking here? We have a missing token. So we didn't close out, yep, the syntax error right there. So let's go back to our presentation. Okay, so I see world and Joe. So let's make that a bit more sense again. Yeah, so basically what we have here is I have straight HTML, and then I'm dropping in, I have a template that lets me to drop in the key for hello and the key for name. So essentially what I'm going to do through the life of this LiveView application is start to add bits and pieces that make sense to me. And one of the things that I'm going to need to do is access the brick that I've created so far. So in order to do that, I'm going to need to decide how to include that dependency, and we're going to do that next.